Welcome to the All Things New devotional series. I am Matt Parker. This is Week 12, The Disinherited Nations. Day 2, The Gods on Trial. Psalm 82. God stands in the divine assembly. He pronounces judgment among the gods. How long will you judge unjustly and show partiality to the wicked? Provide justice for the needy and the fatherless. Uphold the rights of the oppressed and the destitute. Rescue the poor and needy. Save them from the power of the wicked. They do not know or understand. They wander in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are shaken. I said, "You are gods. You are all sons of the Most High. However, you will die like humans and fall like any other ruler. Rise up, God, judge the earth, for all the nations belong to you." Yesterday, we saw the nations divided and assigned to divine or spiritual leaders in the unseen realm. Today, the psalmist takes us into God's courtroom. These spiritual rulers of the nations, the gods or the Elohim, the same ones that Paul would reference in Ephesians 6, aren't perfect. They aren't neutral caretakers either. During the time since the dispersal, they have failed in their duties as leaders. The passage opens with God standing in the divine assembly and pronouncing judgment. There's no rivalry, no argument, no contention. God speaks from a place of divine supremacy and authority. He isn't one voice among many. He is the judge of them all. He is, in fact, the Most High. What charge is actually being brought against these rulers? The answer is injustice. During their rule, they showed partiality to the wicked, failed to defend the weak and the fatherless. They failed to uphold the rights of the oppressed. And this is important because it tells us the unseen realm isn't a side issue or a subplot. It's an integral part of the overall story. Spiritual rebellion always spills over into and influences the depth of human corruption. When lesser rulers rebel, people pay the price. Idolatry, injustice, and suffering all travel together. Psalm 82 is a crucial passage for understanding and revealing a proper Christian worldview. So many people see evil and wickedness as merely bad luck, social dysfunction, or just good old-fashioned unfortunate circumstances. But scriptures refuse to let us believe it. Nor does it allow us to view spiritual powers as basically harmless or something to be toyed with. Behind the false worship and idolatry of the nations stood real rebellion, spiritual rebellion. Look around our world at the cruelty, confusion, and chaos. It isn't accidental or coincidental. Behind this evil stands real darkness. But Psalm 82 wasn't written to make us afraid of the spiritual boogeyman. It was meant to anchor our hearts and minds in justice and the greatness of God. He doesn't turn a blind eye to injustice. He refuses to ignore the corruption of power. He sees what these lesser rulers and us humans have done and are doing. He confronts and condemns it, then announces their judgment, the end of their story. You will die like men and fall like any other ruler. Their authority is temporary. Their end is certain. And their rebellion has an expiration date. Then the closing stanzas of this psalm leave us with a jolting cry. Rise up, God, judge the earth, for all the nations belong to you. The nations were handed over for a time to lesser beings to rule and manage. But their ownership was never passed from the Most High. The mighty judge has never forgotten what belongs to him. Our world is replete with injustice and corrupt power. Sometimes it just feels untouchable and overwhelming. Psalm 82 reminds us that God sees farther and more clearly than we do. He judges more rightly than we can. And this psalm reminds us also that allegiance to the nations is more than alignment with political powers or personalities. As Aslan would say, there are deeper things at work here. Where have you found yourself being tempted to believe that evil is winning? Explain how it strengthens your heart to know even wicked and rebellious power, seen and unseen, is accountable to God. Father, I am grateful that you aren't blind to wickedness and injustice. Every abuse of power, every wound caused by evil is open to your sight. Protect my heart from the fear of lesser powers, of the principalities and powers, as Paul called them. Forgive me for acting as though they are ultimate. Help me to trust in you, the only righteous judge. Help me to believe the nations still belong to you. Amen.